January 13th.
So moved.
Second.
Oh. Glass,
Yes?
Hood,
Yes.
Holder,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Barton. Yes.
Okay, the treasurer's report, Mr. Holder.
So, all the bills have been paid, and we have a present balance of $720,530.90. The only thing that we have that major that's outstanding will be the draw from Crossland that's coming at the end of this month, but I haven't seen even the amount for this month. It'll be $700 to $1 million most likely, around 700 probably,
That'll be the last one.
maybe less. Yeah, no, we're not to that point yet, but we're getting dangerously close. It may even be less than that, because there's a lot of stuff that has been completed or 90% plus completion. We still have our retainage, and then working through warranties and all that stuff. I think that's all I have, unless you all have questions.
The motion approved?
Yep. Second.
Glass,
Yes.
Hood,
Yes.
Holder,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Barton. Yes.
Is there a motion to enter executive session?
So moved.
Second. Glass,
Yes?
Hood,
Yes.
Holder,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Barton. Yes.
All right, Larry, take us through your report.
Yes, I am. I think. Here it is, right here. All right. Well, good afternoon, and thank you for letting me have the opportunity to speak to you. I'd like to share an update for the Salt Fork Event Center as we move into the final stages before opening. The work that I've done to date has concentrated on three primary areas: equipment procurement, creation and implementation of administrative structure and operational systems, and final construction readiness of the facility. And of course, preparation for our first scheduled event, the Bull Battle. Progress across these areas continue to move forward and on schedule, and the focus is now ensuring that both the physical facility and the operational framework are fully prepared for opening activities. To kind of explain the steps, some of the steps, I did a market research and created a mental pricing framework as part of establishing, substantiating operational model. I compared within a 200-mile radius or so of Alva, Oklahoma, including neighboring states, and the goal was to understand prevailing pricing structures and event types they host and competitive positioning. Based off the research that I developed, the initial rental rate framework that provides the baseline for preparation of customizable client rental proposals while being competitive regionally. To support the booking and event management side of it, I've created a standardized event rental process that outlines how we will manage the facility. To give you an idea, a customer will inquire about the availability of rent. We'll check that. Booking requests come in, and there's a lot of communication that happens during that time. Custom proposals will be generated based off of the event specifics, and then if the client accepts, then we'll get into the contracting stage, and of course lease agreement are signed, and then you have the event coordination and execution. And then we'll do a post-event inspection, reporting, and then financial reconciliation. And that is all designed to take care of those matters, but also to help us grow as we go along, as we move along. I've developed core operational documentation for the facility, rental policies and procedures, facility use agreement and insurance requirements, venue rules and operating guidelines, standard operating procedures for our staff, and public-facing materials, so it helps the public know what's going on, how to do things more smoothly. Some of the documents will have to undergo legal review for final adoption to ensure that they're operational and liability is covered. As the facility begins hosting events, we will accumulate booking data and observations and continue refining our rental rates because we want to stay competitive, yet we want to also make sure that we're getting full value out of our rentals. So those will be continually updated. That's not set in stone. Operational partnerships and support systems are being established. Currently, and I'm evaluating and we're evaluating and developing to strengthen the ability to manage our events successfully. One of them, for instance, is our waste management operation. And I had an early morning pre-dawn meeting with the city mayor and the city manager and the waste management company. And we discussed shared ideas of how that'll work. And so that process is being undertaken right now to get that in place prior to our first event, but really for all events. There's an opportunity to get some used polycarts from the city and be able to use those as not dumpsters, but garbage bins inside the building, which are really nice because they're on wheels and that will help us out. And then also the other side of that is our animal waste management and disposal and how that goes. And Kyle from Waste Connections, it was kind of comforting because he said that he does stuff at Oklahoma Oklahoma City Fairgrounds. I'm sorry, and they have some good ideas of how they can handle that, which is great. That helps out a lot because that is a nice issue or very big issue to have. And then I met yesterday with the warden of the local correctional facility and her staff leadership to explore the potential for the joint labor support agreement. And that's she's putting her mind to things. We had to take a tour, she had to take a tour to see what it entails, and then based off of our discussions, because there's some certain requirements that she has to fulfill or keep within her guidelines, but we can work through some of those because when we would need labor forces from them, it would be sufficient to make sure that she stays legal too. On the technology side, I'm currently investigating 2 programs for ticketing. The one is called Ticket Spice, and one that I was really leaning towards was Simple Ticks. But because we want to capture economic impact data, geographical economic impact data, and the share of the TIF district tax, we need to have a more definitive idea of where people are coming and attending our facility when they buy tickets. So Ticket Spice is looking like that's the forerunner to that because we are able to ask questions as per when they sign up. It's just like you're registering to be on their site, so we'll be able to track that. I've worked with Sonia on that to see what all she needs, and she will be able to, with what Ticket Spice has to offer. There are charges with that, but those charges get passed on to the ticket buyer. So we're really not paying anything out of that. They get their cut from that. And then an inventory, I'm also researching an inventory asset management program. And I've narrowed that down to one that's pretty good, Asset Tiger. I've searched all of the SAAS programs that they have available, and the Asset Tiger really came in the less expensive, but the most user-friendly also. And so I'm going to get demos to how to incorporate that. Facility startup and equipment procurement, operational startup planning began early when I got here. Even before I got here, I was kind of generating a list of things that I know that have to operate a facility, and of just essential equipment and software needs and stuff. The list prioritized purchase based off the needs of upcoming events and day-to-day operations. Several items have already been purchased, such as event management program, and that's called Momentous Elite. An arena groomer implement, that's a Superstar ITA 95. We have to have a 75 horsepower tractor to pull that, and that's in the making to be acquired real quick, and a skid loader too to handle all our duties. So those pieces of equipment, thank you, Greg, for guiding me on that. Purchases are currently being researched and narrowed down for office furniture, include shades for the south-facing administrative windows. And until I really went in there and the sun's been at a lower deal, that's going to be something that we're going to need. I've collected quotes from local vendors of office furniture, and I'm basing the best deal on cost, quality of the furniture, and delivery and install timeline. So, and then one that's really important, and I'll get that. I'll have to pull the starting block on that is our fixtures for the restrooms, the toilet paper, paper towel dispensers, soap dispensers, because those need to be in place before our first event. So that'll happen this week. I've been researching the best value and the best long-term cost for products that go in those dispensers. I've also monitored lead times for those to make sure those are in place, and this is, we got to do it. We got to pull the trigger. Brief list of operational equipment and IT needs that have been currently secured in place: phone systems, TV monitor. There's a large and I'll have this a little later, but in the one room to the east, I'll call it right now, because I've called it bunches of different things. It's really ideal and set up for conferences, and we've had interest in those. And so to have the monitors so they can operate that. So there's some big screens so you can see them all over the room, solutions for that, and that's pending. But our TV monitors that go in the rest of the building and the hallways to live stream the event that's going on out in the arena, plus the menus and that for the concessions. They're already ordered and in place, and they're scheduled to be installed next week, is what I hear. We needed, of course, the email, and because I'm glad we got it as soon as we did, because we have that in place, the phone system in place, we have the computers, the Wi-Fi access points are in the building, and a very wonderful security camera system out there, which I'm very amazed on that. Let's see, and exciting news, and good things come to those who wait. We are starting to onboard our administrative staff that we're needing, so that's a big relief for me. So then we roll into first event preparedness, and all current efforts are in line to ensure. Todd talked about that with that temporary occupancy. I hope that we can get the insurance part waiver or something like that, but all the efforts are in line, and I'm confident and comfortable that we will get that temporary occupancy. I know that there are solutions too that we're working on for lighting the parking lot for that event, and maybe a couple, 2 or 3 down the line until we get the lights installed out there. So and those will be with portable light towers. That's in the process. I'm working with Norval Ritter because he has a connection with using a lot of those, and the electrical engineer Dylan to hopefully give us a kind of a recommendation of where we need to put, how many of those light towers we need, and hopefully an aiming guide too, because those things are tricky when you crank them up and have to crank them down. So anyway, I'll be meeting with the Bull Battle event producer, and we're going to, so this is typically what we would do anyways, but that's going to happen here soon. I'm meeting with him to make sure that their team and our team are on the same page to pull off a very successful event. And I will say this, I'm very comfortable because they've done events like that before, and I've had experience with events like this before, but this is the first time we've had this in this facility, so I want to make sure that we're spot on as much as we can be to prevent any hiccups along the way, and so I'll get that taken care of soon. I've already met with them, and they're there's been some issues that we've addressed and identified and taken care of, so I think it's gonna be, I'm really comfortable and glad that that is the first event that you've got in there, because I think everybody working as a team will do good. And I want our inaugural event to be in there to run smoothly and establish a strong foundation for future events and bookings, that's for sure. Now, I did back up a little bit, but I kind of need some board input, and it's a board input request. Facility space names, and I've called them based off of what I know, but I know that I've changed them up and I talk all different things, and I think it's time in the game that we name a room, and that's because that becomes the room. So I would appreciate some advice or that, but one proposed naming structure idea is the east room, and that's the more finished room, be called the ballroom. The middle room, where livestock shows are going to be placed, expo hall. The stall building and warm-up barn, of course, that's pretty, and the arena are pretty straightforward. But if you guys have an idea or a clue or want to help out with that, I sure would use that, appreciate that help, because I know I get to calling them different things, and I don't want to confuse our clients and customers. So that's that, and appreciate any input or what, and I'd like to do that sooner than later, because we do have to date, I'll give you an update, so there's 3 weddings that are booked, and even though they go against how we'll be doing this in the future, they are locked in, they're guaranteed. The bull battle, of course, obviously. We've got 2 summits, rangeland summits scheduled in there. One conference that the university's coming in based off of tours and everything. There's another convention, I can't remember what they called it, because it sounded like it was 2 different things when 2 different people approached me, but it's for the youth. It's a traffic, Haley gave that to me. I can't remember the name, but anyway, it's going to be younger high school or junior high kids. And then we've got the college rodeo penciled in there and going to happen. A jackpot roping, there's another jackpot roping that's I've got to talk to. And the college event, that's the conference, that's a 2-year running one. And so that's what I really want to capture on, is getting those events, because you can really take advantage and make them even better than you did the year before. And so there is just a lot of interest, and just, it isn't one that's booked in, but I have confidence that they will, because this is a nice facility. There's a big equine breed show. I think it's I heard it was a POA, Pony of America show, where they'll come in, and so that tour is on my schedule, and we'll showcase the building to that organizer, and I'm confident that they'll like what they see there. Anyways, I'd like to get those names kind of set really quick, so that I can even start counting them, and now that we have staff and they're going to start building these customized rental proposals, we'll be across the board. And then a logo, we put out a logo and tagline contest to get some community buy-in and community involvement. It's great concept. We've gotten several right off the bat suggestions, and so I would like to have anybody that's willing to be on there and judge those. That would be great. And you can let me know, and we'll go from there. In closing, the construction completion and operational system development, event preparedness are all moving along in good stride, and I'm really getting excited. Sometimes I have to check myself to control the excitement, because I don't want to look silly about it, but it's coming, and it's happening. So thank you very much. I'll take any questions that any of you have, or
I've got a question on the tickets. So
Sure.
like the bull battle,
yes.
those tickets have to be sold through this new platform?
We will offer that. So ideally, some event producers will come in and they've already sold tickets and that, and if we'll ask and require them to share that type of data. If they don't have that type of data, then we'll offer our system up for them to use. And it'll be, since it's a kind of a pass-through, we'll let them have that. But a lot of them will probably be able to do that. But Bull Battle does not have a ticketing system in place. They sell tickets at the door. And so there are ways around that we can get that information. But it would be nice to offer that. Sonia and I were talking about that, where we could offer that up as a service for somebody at the booking, at the inquiry stage. Say, we have this available for you, because they'll have to have the building booked before they even start selling tickets to me. So,
I assume that's something we can just require
Yes.
in the future?
Yep.
So will there be any cash check? Can you walk up and buy a ticket, or are you gonna have to do it?
it'll be through the program, so the program will be there, and
So I mean, but if you didn't go online and buy a ticket, we'd be able to walk up and buy a ticket to future events? Yes, to answer your question, yeah.
Is it card only, or can they do cash?
No, that's a good question, and I'll have to check into that, because that is sometimes an issue with that, and I believe that it is both.
I certainly hope we will not be turning anybody down that wants to come.
The ones
Well,
that
yeah,
Take
yeah.
Cash, card,
Yeah.
possum, horse,
Yeah.
calf,
bartering, whatever.
whatever.
No, exactly. But.
Did you guys have objections to what he called the rooms? Ballroom, expo, main arena, warm-up and stalls?
Should the ballroom be the conference center, or is ballroom good?
The great room or
Yeah, the
something?
great, like the pretty room.
And I've called them all of those things too, and that's why I think we need to have a label for it, so that I can do that.
I know we want to walk away from this with those named.
Yeah, I
Just-
mean, I agree with you, you need to have them
Yeah.
named soon, like today.
Mhm.
I don't care. Ballroom, conference room, I just,
Sounds good to me. It's always been confusing
Yeah, and
to explain the exhibition hall and the expo center.
yeah.
Good with the ballroom, Todd? Can have a ball there.
You know, I think I don't know, my thought on this, yes, I'm fine with those that have been proposed. I would kind of like a tribute for the person who donated the land, and if we call the Mackey Ballroom or the Mackey Great Room, I think that would be my suggestion. I don't know that we need a personal name for every room, but that family has contributed towards this project immensely by starting us off and has been extremely patient and continued to give. So that's my recommendation.
I like that.
do we need to vote on that, or we just?
Well, it depends on whether somebody's got to make a motion and somebody's got to decide if that's what we're going to call them, all of them, or if we want to just name that one. You know, I agree with Sonia. I think Larry needs to be moving forward with it, but I don't know that it has to be done this meeting, but it would probably help for future to move things forward.
For him to get his rate sheets and everything together, so when he's talking to other clients is why he needs this, I believe.
Mhm.
And as far as the naming stuff, I mean, you can still sell naming rights to these, or in Mackey's case, I mean, they've already done their portion, you know? So there's still that opportunity, but he needs it for talking to customers.
And I said that without asking the family, and I would like to ask permission before we
I think
do
you're
that
right.
permanently.
And and there is a, if it takes time to ask that and get back if we agree on it.
But you can still
Here.
list ballroom on your,
Yes, ballroom would be
Sheets.
that, if we
Yeah.
say Mackey Ballroom in front, I mean, that's easy to change.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar if I showed you guys any of the documents that I've created, they're bland, they're black and white. Because I didn't want to even run color, but we don't have our logo and that, and when we get that and get our marketing, color schemes and everything. It'll look a lot fancier. Looks pretty generic, but it's still good, so, okay. Mackey Ballroom, and then, I said Expo Hall, which I don't, you know, I'm tossed. I don't, if you guys have had an idea, or what have you been calling it?
Expo.
In your mind, Expo, okay, and then I think the arena and the warm-up are that way, so very good. And I'll wait till, I hear back from you, Todd, to, tell me if that's okay to do Mackey Hall, and boom, we'll be fine. Thank you.
Somebody want to make a motion if we do that?
I move that we attribute the labels to these rooms as Larry presented.
Second.
Second.
Glass,
Yes.
Hood,
Yes.
Holder,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Horton.
Yes.
Thank you, Larry. Anything else? I'm confused on number 9. Is that a action?
Oh, no, sorry, it was supposed to be above Larry's report, but I swapped them around. So there's no discussion, or action from execution.
Discuss with possible action to authorize Sonia and Jalen to access banking information.
So in the past, that's always kind of been a given. Our main checking account at this point is at Dream First, and they've changed ownership, and that's been a little bit of a point of contention. So I've asked for this to be on there to authorize those two to be able to access and have it. They don't have signature rights. They can't do anything, but they need access to the information, so the bank accounts and the statements and so on and so forth. So I'll make the motion of that we allow Jalen and Sonia access to all Alva Arena Authority bank accounts in any financial institution.
Second.
Glass,
Yes.
Hood,
Yes.
Holder,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Horton.
Yes.
Number 11, discussion, possible action to open up a bank account for the software development.
So as we move forward, Mr. Chairman, you know, we're gonna, and this will be subject to lawyer approval, but we're gonna need an operating account for Larry to be able to operate out of, and then eventually bring us a budget so that we can approve. It's gonna make sense to open up an operating budget for them, an account to do that with. And so I would ask that we allow that to happen at this point and fund it with $50,000 at this point, be dual signature, and then Larry would report the accounting back to us.
Can we open that at Wisdom Heritage Bank?
It's up for discussion. We'll do whatever you ask.
That'd be my suggestion.
I make the motion that we open the account. You guys can decide where anything like that part of it.
Wait a second. Did you decide where? When do we decide that?
Whatever you want to.
Right now? Where's it at now? Alva State?
So we have so the only account that we have is the Alva Arena Authority, which is where we started, and it started at Bank Central and now is at Dream First. So that's where our primary checking account is. This account does not have to be it does not have to be located within that facility, so it can be any place. I just am requesting the account be opened. I am not asking where it's to be opened.
I think we ought to put it.
I'd say Alva State. There shouldn't be any kind of problem with that, I don't think.
Wisdom Heritage.
Wisdom Heritage. I'll second your motion to make it at Alva State / Wisdom Heritage Bank.
Glass,
Yes.
Hood,
Yes.
Holder,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Horton.
Yes.
Any subcommittee updates, discussions?
Management committees, that's kind of been handed off, and Larry's hired some people to move it forward. Payroll services for this time being, this year, will be through Express Employment Services. It's located out of Enid. There are some reasons why we decided to go with the payroll service as opposed to trying to do that ourselves. Most of it was with auditing purposes and trying to figure out how to manipulate that through. So the contract is month to month, so we are not paying very, very little more than what we would have paid for workman's comp and for FICA and all of the payroll expenses that go through. So that decision is made for this time, at this time period, so that we can pay employees and start onboarding them. Still exploring some health insurance options of trying to figure out where we're going to do and how we're going to do that. But that's kind of the update as far as that's concerned. The funding committee, if I would, I'd move to the next one and say that if there's no questions on that. The funding committee, our next requirement is to make the interest payment to the bonding company that will go to the water district, and that will be in June. We've got a little bit of time to that, but we will request from Share Trust that those funds come through. And then my recommendation is probably to request the ability to get that interest payment from Share Trust, and then an additional $500,000 just to be sure, the availability of $500,000 to be sure that we can meet our operating budget for this next year. Right now we're flush, but we've got equipment outstanding that we're going to have to pay for, and we don't know where we're going to be on the building is concerned, and we need to know that. Share Trust meets this Thursday, and so if that's okay with you all, I'll make that recommendation to the Share Trust. That's it for me.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
I have one other item, Dr. I went in the post office the other day and they asked me what to do with this mail that they didn't have an address for. And I talked with Sonia on it. They went out and looked at it and they gave me an address for the south entrance that's completely different from any of the other addresses that we have. So, they gave it 27281 County Road 460. Is that's what they're going to call the south entrance. Can we make that work? I mean, do we have with that other address, do we have a lot of correspondence that's going to go to that other address?
Everything goes to the post office box. The only reason we had that address, or that they gave us that address, I think was for OG&E.
We did find out from the rural mail carrier, Sonia, maybe I didn't tell you this, that there was a lot of stuff that had that address on it, mail, probably junk mail that was being returning back to the sender because we didn't have a box up, and the rural mail carrier is not allowed to take that address and put it in a post office box anymore. So those rules are all changing. My concern is if with 911 addresses, and Daryl addressed that every one of those buildings is going to have a different 911 address, because if there is an emergency, we're going to know which area, have to know which area in the building that they're going to go to. So
Yeah, the Stall building to the north will have a different address on it, just for the 911 address. So if this address will work, I'll tell them that's what we're going to do, and let them give us an address for the Stall building. And I think that'll be all we'll have for right now. We've got the address on around for the meter setup that goes to the RVs. That's got a different address on it. I just didn't say yes or pull the trigger because I didn't know how much correspondence we had out there.
Nothing. They can keep their correspondence. If it's junk mail, we don't want it anyway.
So it'll be Salt Fork Event Center at 27281 County Road 460. Okay?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we authorize Daryl to have our official address changed to that at the post office, if he doesn't mind. We will keep the post office box as well for the time being, until such time that we can establish permanent, and then Larry and his crew can decide whether they want to keep the post office box or not. At this point, we don't even have a mailbox out there, and no place to put one right now, and that's a whole nother issue, that Larry can handle it. And if Daryl wants to hand that duty off to Larry, I'm fine with that too, as far as my motion. We need to accept it, I think.
Yeah, and then if anybody who wants to go by and pick up this mail, they can do that, as long as they go into the post office and sign. So, I don't know, Larry, if you wanna be in charge, or not be in charge, but be able to, or
I think I
Jalen.
actually picked it up the other day.
say what?
I think I picked it up the other day, 'cause
Did
I had
you?
to sign for stuff and I
Okay,
had a cluster of mail.
okay. I didn't know if you'd ever got in there.
I saw your email.
Yeah.
And so I stopped in there to check the PO box and then I just went up to the desk to double check. So I
Perfect.
think they gave me everything.
Perfect,
Yep.
perfect. So if Larry, you want that capability, we'll have to get you signed up over there at the post office too. Anybody can go in as long as they sign the name and they can match it up with somebody who's gone in there before and
Okay.
signed, so. Okay, that's all I have.
Somebody second my motion?
A second.
Glass,
Yes.
Hood,
Yes.
Holder,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
I move to adjourn.
Second? Yes.
Glass,
Yes.
Hood,
Yes.
Holder,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Mike, you voted twice.